Yalla, yalla. Signal flare goes up here at twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman. Bin Hamin YouTube channel. Subscribe to both infidels. Like, watch, share. That's what you have to do. Waking up in the morning, gotta thank Ja. I don't know, but the day seems kind of odd. No barking from them dogs, no smog, and man, Beast cooked the breakfast with no hog, and that's not right because I wanted my sausages this morning, infidel, so I'm extra pissed off, ready to rock on the Monday morning locker room, so everybody better have their stuff together and not be in the over locker room when they shouldn't be. Yalla.
The over locker room. I forgot all about the over locker room. I love that.
Oh, the over locker room. Fuck, man. Actually, saw the over locker room. There was Lance Storm put out a picture just for shock value on his Twitter of Paul Hamin and Cornette standing in the gorilla over locker room right by the big OVW wall, you know, that
yes.
shot 1,000 promos and I just like, dude, I smell that room. Like, Marks didn't get it. They thought I was talking about Cornette and Hamin. I'm like, I can smell that room just by looking at this right now, dude. Like, Jesus Christ, that room smells like cat piss, knee pads, tuna fish opened up, some old protein powder that just came from the gym, been sitting in the car for 4 hours at the bottom of your shake thing, dedication, fear, adrenaline, sticky carpets, biofreeze, icy hot. What else would be in that room? Subway onions and mayonnaise smell.
Did you say Axe body spray?
Man. Axe body spray, yeah. That's definitely in there at the end of the night for sure. Wow, that room has seen some fucking sweaty ass men and women come through that gorilla door, man, and get it in. I think I've only seen one or two arguments, you know, that got went a little farther than they should in there, but that room is special to anybody who's ever been in OVW. And, you know, even though the pictures about Hamin and Lance, that was, I flash back to like 100 different memories in less than a minute there that you could rip through your head, from pre-tapes to going out for matches to having laughs with the boys to cleaning it up to redoing it all the way around, man. And you and I have been there for a long time. Well, you definitely, you know, for 10 years longer than me doing that, man, in that room. And to see it out there where the Marks just respond, it's like they'll never know. They'll never know the blood, sweat, and tears that are in that, whatever it is, 20 by 12 room, man. So glad to be back here Monday morning. We're missing Rick Vickery. He's dealing with some stuff with his grandfather's health issues and whatnot and family issues. So we're thinking about him. But it's the Monday morning Mama Man Beast and Hacker Hamin locker room, baby. We're back. Good morning, Dr. Ted. You're going to kneel before him. It's Smoke the Grass Tyson.
Yeah, that's right. Coming off a nice weekend. Actually, spent it down at Rough River, which is like a little lakeside community here in Kentucky, with some family, and it was a lot of fun. You know, and made me realize how much I really, you know, as much as I obviously love talking wrestling and doing all that, it was good to get away for a little bit. And, you know, I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm open for business. If you want to invite Dr. Ted down to your lake house, I'll bring some good bourbon. Just get me on a boat and we'll have a good time.
Was Rough River Rashad down there as well with you?
I wish he was. I know he was around somewhere. He's always Rough River Rashad. You can't ever, you know, be too careful. He's always lurking.
Triple R. Yeah. I love checking on him, man. He's doing good things, dude. No doubt about it, with family, and he's a hell of a mechanic, Rough Rider Rashad, man. I forgot about that.
For those that don't know, back in DCW, Rough Rider Rashad and his tag team partner Debo. I think the idea was originally, you know, theirs, and you just kind of took it and morphed it into something way beyond, you know, what it could have been. They wanted to be the grape drink connection and come out with the grape drink, and then you took it a step further and literally made the gimmick to where they would come out with this grape drink, and then not only was that part of their identity was coming out with it, they actually would utilize it in the match. So you'd have their tag team, one of the guys is selling, then, you know, the other tag team partner would pick up the the gallon of grape drink, and literally the fans by the end of it were chanting grape drink and slide over the grape drink to the guy selling, chugged it down, and then go bananas and blow zone comeback. And it was fantastic. and then they smartly would, during intermission, would go and sell cups of grape drink and would make money.
That was my idea too. I go, how much is it for a grape drink and a glass and some Dixie cups? You know what I mean? Or where you can even get them for working at a place for free. And 50 cents a glass on $1.99 gimmick a grape drink for 5 ounces. You know what I mean? Is a chance to get to meet them. They I think on $1.99 they would clean up about $12-16 when they would go through it.
I mean, it is a shame they did not take that around to independents, because I mean they could have then sold it by the gallon, $20. You know what I mean? And Jesus, like so good.
Still waiting for that endorsement. Is Stevie Richards in the chat room live right now? Twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman Ben Hamin channel. Check out Stevie's YouTube channel. Obviously, great things going on. He just dropped his new StevieRichardsFitness.com 3-part yoga series live from the beach. Looks awesome. As well as the 12 and 16 week resistant band training program. I was going hard all weekend too. I was happy to get away. Beast. I don't even know how I made it through Saturday, really, probably because of Stevie Richards Fitness, because we went on a hike, not a huge mountain hike, but lower levels of the Adirondacks, and do about 6.5 miles around Nick's Lake. And so I was at your lake. I was looking for you. You weren't even there. But I was in Nick's Lake, and that was a good hustle, man. And I was feeling it, and then came back 3.5 hours later. And then I went and played night golf with referee Sideburns, Hoopdul the Butcher, and Notorious MODI. And it was good, man. I don't know if you ever seen that or played that, but they give you a ball that it's LED ball. You gotta, it stays on for 8 minutes, and you gotta like whack it on the ground or whack it with your club to relight it. But we start 7 at night, played till midnight. It takes 9 holes, takes that long. But we play best ball. But dude, when you hit the ball, it's like a tracer round going off in the air. You just see the balls flying through the air. And if you hit it even in the woods, you can see it because it's pitch black out every place out. So when you tee off, and when you square up to the ball, everyone's got a flashlight and they can show you where it is. But then when you got to hit, everyone turns their light off. So it's just the ball glowing. And they decorate up the cart with light glow sticks and all that kind of stuff, man. So it's a good time. And people are playing, crazy music, and where you can't scream and do shit on a golf course during the day. You're not supposed to anyway. Everyone's having a party. It was a good time, man, for sure. But I was cocked over after a 6.5 mile hike and then going golfing for 4 or 5 hours yesterday. Holy shit. Or on Saturday. Yesterday was definitely a stretch and recovery day with some Stevie Richards yoga.
Yeah. I will say
buy all 3 yoga workouts. All right, hold on. Buy all 3 yoga workouts, and now the chair band workout video, which includes a free chair yoga video. So real good stuff, you guys, especially if you got older people in your family, or you're just getting your fitness journey started, and you're worried about getting hurt by overdoing it. Your level will be there. The chair workouts are an awesome way, and if you're recovering from injury, as Dr. Ted will tell you, an awesome way to start getting mobility back without really having to overdo it where you're going to out of the game right now. So StevieRichardsFitness.com. We appreciate him on everything he's doing. Right now, he's editing video to upload to Russo Brand so Dr. Ted can make more thumbnails and I can SEO them, turn them on so you guys can have more free videos. And that's how we work at Hamin Media Group, you guys. Go ahead, Teddy.
Oh, I was just going to say to that point that there are some decent programs out there, but none that I feel like I can put my stamp of approval on, except for the Stevie Richards Fitness program, because when it comes to resistance band training, I know no matter where you're at in your fitness spectrum, whether you're a beginner or advanced, like there is something for everyone as far as that program's concerned. And when he added the yoga, that's, to me, it was just like it was already a complete program. Now you have an even bigger aspect of it, because just as important as is to train hard, recovery is just as important. And I can't tell you how many wrestlers I talk to that they can train 7 days a week just as hard, and it's like, no, your body has to have the chance to recover and build muscle back just as much as it's important to tear it down when you're in the gym, the exercise. So I love that he added the yoga aspect of it. So what was already a complete program is now even more comprehensive, and I really can't give my stamp of approval enough on it. So I do recommend it, and I say check it out. And I'd say no matter where you're at, whether you're again a beginner or advanced, there's something for everyone. And the whole yoga addition to it just makes it that much more of a quality program. And honestly, out of all the ones that are out there, you're not going to find a better value for the cost. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. Honestly, I think you should charge more, but it is what it is. But take advantage of it and check it out. And I don't think there's really any better time, especially since you don't have to go to a gym to do the program. You can just do it at home, and I think it's good stuff, man.
Well, I won't be going to the gyms. I don't know if I told you about how hot I got on Friday or not, Beast, or not. It might have been Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was probably Friday, because I would have bitched about it on the locker room. So last week I put in 86 hours between Monday and Friday, and then I get out of the Udio and go over to Planet Shit List, and I've gone probably about 5 times, and I will go with my mask on and do whatever little jump through the hoops fucking thing they want you to do, and I'll go over and get on a bike and take my mask off because there's 20 feet around me where there's nobody to start with, and it's all an exercise and futility and ridiculousn's anyway. There's sweat flying everywhere. If you are worried about my exhale and not that, then you're a fucking moron. So I'm playing the little 1984 games and didn't really have any problem. We get a look here and there, but dude, we're talking a whole Planet Fitness, and there might be 7 people in there max when I'm fucking working out. So their business model is just fucking crushed, right? So I go back in Friday, do the gimmick. I'm in the very back corner by the garbage room where they legit have tape on the floor marking out a 6x6 box where like the door opens to watch out so you don't get hit with the door for some reason. But like, dude, there's nobody within 150 feet of me. The fucking out of shape, fat body fucking trainer there walks by with the garbage, and he goes, "Hey man, I gotta have your mask on." And I was like, and I undo my hand, like, what? I knew what he was saying. I was like, "What'd you say?" He goes, I gotta have you with your mask on back here. I go, "Dude, there's nobody even in. It's an hour before closing. There's 3 people up front." I go, "There's nobody even in here, man." I go, "I'm here to do cardio. How am I supposed to fucking bust it? Can't even breathe." And he's like, "I know, it's just through." I go, "You know what, dude? I'm done. I'm like, I'm canceling my membership." He's like, what? And I walk up front to the other Bukiak who's fucking running the front desk, who doesn't look like she's been on it. She the most she's done working out there is the look at tread because she ain't no body. And they both start in where he comes rushing up because they know they're about to lose a black card member. 2 of them, me and the wife, number 1. So he's like, "We can put it on freeze for 3 months and maybe when this stuff lifts up." I go, "No, dude, it's not about that. It's about you doing bad business. We play these games. We have these rules that we have to go through in society, and I'm in the back doing nothing. You made the choice to come up and open your fucking mouth and say something to cause a problem. There was no problem. So now you've done bad business." He goes, "Well, I just have to abide by the rules. What if they came in and fined us and did it?" I'm like, then that's on
you were social distance from everybody else. You know what I mean? It's like, have some common damn sense, It's ridiculous.
He came up out of his way to fucking run that cocksucker and think that I was just gonna, "Oh yes, sir, I'm gonna do that." No, I'm canceling. That was as quick as that. So then he runs up, "We can put it on hold for 3 months and ice it, and maybe this will be done." Well, are you going to be less of a dumb motherfucker in 3 months? My money's on no. You've done bad business. I go, "It's not about that." He goes, "Well, that's what with regulations we have to live by. You can write to Cuomo." I go, "Yeah, because it's on me as an individual to represent Planet Fitness in a corporate fucking thing like that. That's on me." I go, "That's for your team strategy meetings. When you're on Friday, you get to tell them how you lost 2 black accounts, costing you $700 a year." And I go, "Look at this." I go, look at your model right now." I go, "You're not going to be here in 6 months. So I can go home and work out. This was just my get out of the house for an hour." He's like, "Well, I'm sorry you feel." I go, I'm sorry too." I go, "You're the one who did bad business. I was just back there working out with my headphones on, not fucking doing nothing to nobody. And now you just cost yourself 2 black card memberships in a time when your model is completely fucked." So here's what's going to happen. They're going to close in 3 to 4 months. They're going to try and wait it out till January 1st. Then the number won't mean anything because they've already lost millions upon millions of dollars. That kid will then go to Turning Stone Casino, become a douchebag fucking security guard for 2 years. In turn, he'll take that and then go to Oneida County Jail and become a fucking corrections officer where he'll live the rest of his life miserably because he never was fucking anything. Because of that same premise of I better go fuck with somebody to try and do a power play to show some bullshit, when the reality is my head's up my ass so far that I don't know when to shut the fuck up and shut the fuck up. So that was like the beginning of the end of my Friday, before the SmackDown Live self-help group really saved me playing some music. But like I want, like, the fact that they think they can flex these little laws on people that they make up on the fly and there's not going to be repercussions. You should have seen them fucking wheel and deal. But then the other book yak up front was like, you can freeze it. And I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm like, you did bad business. It's not on me. I go, I'm sorry. You guys are so stupid. And, just had to bounce on him. And she was like, no, he wants to cancel. We're going to cancel. It'll cost him instead of freezing him. Like, oh, fucking dollars. Like, I'm going to come back with hat in hand over $20. Nope. I'm just going to buy more StevieRichardsFitness.com resistance bands. I'm going to go twice as hard. And when your place is closed down in 4 months and I'm fucking riding by, I will laugh my balls off, because that's exactly what's going to happen with that kind of mentality.
I can't wait to see the Ben Hamin picture. You got to go in full gimmick once you have the now closed sign with.
I'll piss right on the front. I'll piss right on the fucking front of it, dude. I don't give a fuck. Like they had it coming.
Common sense. It's ridiculous. I mean, the whole point. Anyway, I mean, I know the feelings of COVID notwithstanding. The whole point of wearing a mask is when you're in close proximity with people to prevent more, air exchange between people. The gimmick is if you're social distance within 6 or 10 feet or whatever, you're not at risk of transferring that virus to anyone else. This happened to acquaintance of ours, actually, at the U of L game the other night, where people, they had so few people in the stadium. Everyone was social distanced already. So everyone is theoretically safe. But my buddy who was drinking a beer pulled his mask down. And again, he was social distance away from everybody else. A guard came up to him and said, hey, you have to take a sip of your beer every 30 seconds or you got to pull the mask up. And he said, okay, challenge accepted, and then proceeded to keep his mask down the whole rest of the game, and literally had a timer next to him and said, I haven't done a power hour since college, but we're going down tonight. And just got hammered and refused to put his mask back on and just took a sip of beer every 30 seconds. I was like, good on you, man. It's just ridiculous.
These asshole rules that they come up with on the fly, and have some fuckface who got his fucking GED that they think they're a fucking God's gift to security now. Just sweep the leg, John. Like, if you've, and the way his tune changed from like they knew they just lost another whatever it is $750 in membership fees, like that's it. They want to have it both ways, and they think they'll have somebody's will bend to their stupid rules. Not happening with Hamin, bro. and we'll see who lasts longer. You think he's Mr. Planet Fitness, that he's going to save the fucking company? No, he's going to be out on his ass. He's going to have a shit life. He's going to see me at a fucking store, and I'm just going to look him up and down and fucking scoff. So it's fucking absolute insanity. But like I said, when you're with Hamin Media Group, you're not part of the 85%ers who fucking do the dance. And then when you cross them, they aren't ready to handle it with any type of logic and reasoning whatsoever. He probably was sleepless in Seattle all weekend long based on how I left the situation. So, and you don't know, like, I'm a guy with his head at least screwed on fucking straight. If you did that shit to somebody who doesn't have a ton to lose, who doesn't have whatever, they know where you work. If you work late, they're going to be in the parking lot waiting for you. You don't know what the fuck you've just done by running your mouth. And it might not be that night, but it could be next week. And you would thought you forgot about it and you're fucking safe. Dude, people's fucking illusion of their fucking dominance over somebody else is ridiculous. Like, it would be nothing to wait outside and fucking baseball bat a motherfucker if need be. You know what I mean? A week later and have no clue, none whatsoever. It's just their stupidity knows no boundary.
Never underestimate the power of stupid people and large groups. George Carlin, that was my senior quote, and it's even more relevant today than it was when I wrote it in, well, whenever that was. We won't talk about what year I graduated high school, but
Oh shit! I guess one thing is we're starting off hot already, but the best way to cool things down on a Monday, you don't want to start the week off hot, is to laugh, man. There's no better medicine than that, is this doctor will attest. The best way for that is the Monday morning monologue. So please give us a big dose, man, because I can't take this fucking bullshit this early.
That's right. Before we get all into the rest of the crap of the week, it's speaking of crap, we'll enjoy some shitty jokes from this past week's headlines. It is your Monday morning monologue. Hope everyone's having a great day so far. Let's get right into it. Mike Bennett.
Let me start over again. This is Dr. Ted. I was last on that. The thing I'm looking forward to kick off my week is Monday morning monologue. Yeah. Get him, beast.
Well, speaking of Mike Bennett has a lot personally on the line in his shot at Nick Aldis for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship, and explained why on Twitter. Bennett is set to challenge Aldis for the title at United Wrestling Network's primetime live pay-per-view debut on September 15th, tomorrow, to which Maria said he can do whatever he wants as long as his ass gets the dishes done. In a recent edition of Something to Wrestle, Bruce Pritchard discussed The Rock and Mankind's This Is Your Life segment on Raw in 1999 and why he hated it, saying despite it being one of the highest rated Raw segments of all time, it went 14 minutes over, which was horrendous. Because I think we all wish that the Mae Young and Fabulous Moolah versus Ivory in a handicap evening gown match would have gone 7 more minutes. As previously reported, former WWE superstar Marty Jannetty made comments on Facebook in early August about making someone disappear when he was a teenager living in Columbus, Georgia. That led the Columbus Police Department later announcing that they were investigating claims made by Jannetty. Well, now Jannetty has returned to Facebook to share a different side of his original story. In a Facebook post published on Tuesday, Jannetty claims that he didn't murder anyone, and it was just the beginning of a damn wrestling storyline. He goes on to say, "Oh my God, didn't the world buy it? I never knew it could be that easy. I mean, Inside Edition, People Magazine, TMZ, Fox News, that fake-ass National Enquirer, and all the major news outlets worldwide jumped on this story. It got so hot, I had to drop it. When my Columbus, Georgia Police Department got involved, I knew I had to drop it, or as my bruh Snoop Dogg says, drop it like it's hot." Ha! Oh. Read it and weep, you suckers. I can't believe you all fell for the old I murdered a guy gimmick. I mean, do you all even watch wrestling? Come on. Armando Alejandro Montalvo, the man who was previously shot outside the WWE Performance Center in August 2015, was denied bail earlier in August after his latest arrest for trespassing at the Performance Center. WrestlingInc.com has an update on Montalvo, who wrote a 7-page letter while he was in jail made out to WWE attorney on August 3rd. A photo of the transcript of the letter was sent to the court, and it says he felt like his dreams were coming true that day. He talked about his WWE fandom and claimed that he would follow the permanent court injunction and would not return to the WWE premises, to which Marty Jannetty said, "We can all believe him." WWE superstar Mustafa Ali tweeted this past week on not appearing on Raw, but he did promote an upcoming match scheduled for WWE Main Event instead. He tweeted not on hashtag WWE Raw Tonight, but rumor is they're changing the name of hashtag WWE Main Event to hashtag Main Event Mustafa. And if he continues to make these kind of tweets, I can only assume the next big main change is going to be hashtag Future Endeavored Ali. In an interview with Wrestling Inc., Rob Van Dam spoke about Vince McMahon's reaction to his arrest in 2006 for marijuana, saying he couldn't have been cooler. RVD went on to say, but dude would have been a whole lot cooler if he smoked. Miro said on a recent stream that he wanted to work with Kurt Angle at his first WrestleMania and revealed why the idea was shot down by WWE, and ultimately it just wasn't his day. Speaking of Kurt Angle, though, TribLive.com and Justin LaBar recently interviewed NXT superstar and former NXT champion Adam Cole. Adam Cole discussed he had a special experience meeting Kurt Angle when he was a child. And Kurt Angle actually remembers this meeting, saying, yeah, he met him at WrestleMania last year. The latest hearing in Jeff Jarrett's lawsuit against Impact parent company Anthem Wrestling has been delayed after a U.S. District Court judge passed away. But Jeff Jarrett has assured this most certainly is not a dead issue. All right, wrap up the week in an interview with Sportskeeda. Ken Anderson said that he was once told by Vince McMahon that comedy doesn't draw when he was a part of WWE, because as we all know, D-Generation X dropping doo-doo on the McMahons and a group of male cheerleaders was super serious. Well, the shit is hitting the fan, ladies and gentlemen. It has been your Monday morning monologue.
Yeah, here on the Monday Locker Room. Appreciate that, Beast. That made me feel better already for sure. A lot of headlines that we're going to cross here in that one. Dude, the Marty Jannetty thing. What the fuck, bro? Like, no,
his
like
work,
that,
he got you. You thought it was time. Should have known, man. The old murder trick.
The old murder trick. This guy's going to come back out from behind the bowling alley. Surprise, I'm back. Oh my God, is that him? Is that the old queer weed dealer? He's back. He's back. My God, he's back. Like, you know, like, dude, where does he expect to go from this? What is an update of, is this guy alive? Let's start there. And if not, what happened to him? And did he just come up missing? If so, this isn't the end of this story that we've heard, man. This is definitely one that Wrestling with Tragedy is taking a look at long term. And the fact that he even comes back to try and work the internet shows how fucking shot this guy is, bro, when you're talking about murder and how clueless wrestlers are of like the seriousness of their situation, where they think everything's a fucking work, man. Unreal. Too real, I guess. Here's one that got me pissed off yesterday, Beast, and I want to get your input on it. One sec here.
Yeah. See, this is why we have interns like RBV.
Yeah.
I don't mean to make light, though. I really do wish everything the best with him and his family. Oh, this is cool. Look at this graphics. Getting all high tech. Oh, geez, I didn't see this. I don't know what this is.
All right, we'll see if it's. This got me pissed. All right, glide plane is so hard to fucking deal with. That's the problem with it. I got everything hooked up. Oh, here we go.
Souvenir dog. It was on Rollins' wrist.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Getting the trust of Ray to give him his son his first WWE match on a huge, Ray's first WWE was SummerSlam. Slam his tree there, wearing his classic Halloween Havoc gear. It's an ode and a middle finger all at the same time. I was really proud of it, and I was really proud of his performance and the fact that he brought it. And congratulations! And like I said, it is going to mean a lot moving forward. It's just going to, hopefully put him on the map, and hopefully establish him, or at least get him kickstarted and making sure that this business is good for years to come after I'm gone.
Kill me in the fucking face, bro.
Here's the thing on this, like, kayfabe in a sense is dead. That being said, if this came out 5 years from now, I'd actually would most likely be okay with it.
5 years from now,
we're in the middle of, like, unless the angle's dead, which I don't think it is, like, this just killed the context of the story you're trying to create. You know what I mean? You just basically said, ladies and gentlemen, this is our school play. I hope you all enjoyed it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's awful. It's like shooting yourself in the foot. Again, if this came out later, cool. That's great to do a retrospective on the story and everything else. But we're in the middle of an angle that you're trying to get people to invest emotionally in, but you're showing, hey, we're really all buds. Like, it's ridiculous. It just is. Yeah.
Yeah, even like showing Ray, like, here's Seth's a wrist wrap with his name on it. Oh, that's special to have. Be like, well, go fucking give it back to him. That's what a wrestler does. I'm not pumped. I wrestle Man Beast and add. I'm not like, hey, dude, can I get your cutoff shirt for my scrapbook afterwards, dude? Like, the fact that not even that this stuff goes on, if it went on, that's bad enough. That you do a wholesome, heartfelt piece with the piano underneath it to put it out in the middle of the feud. And not only would I find all three of those guys, I'd find the fucking production team, dude, that even allowed this shit to happen. Like you said, in a retrospective, absolutely. This shit is everything that is wrong with WWE. It personified in 60 seconds. People who aren't.
It's just like the story you're trying to tell in the ring. Timing is everything as far as what you do and when. And same thing here. The timing of this again. That's the main part of it. In the middle of a feud. Sorry, I know I keep saying the same thing.
How does Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins, who knows how great he is, know that this is the exact wrong thing that you would fucking do? If they came up and did that with me, like in Seth Rollins, they gave me that, I'd be like, you're gonna turn that into a story of like looking at it of like he sent this to me, and then you go to Rollins. If you wanted to have Rollins like he did great and like be the benevolent one, but he's clueless, you know what I mean? Like that's part of his character, but to feed into it of like that's special. Now Ray looks like a mark, Dominick exposes a complete green boy mark, and Seth looks like he doesn't give a fuck about protecting the business and that he's an egomaniac to the level that he wore the original SummerSlam prints and gave his son the Seth Rollins headband to cherish forever. Like, how fucking clueless can you look about what you are, who you are, trapped in a bubble where you think you're over, and you just come off looking like everyone looks like such a fucking mark. And when this shit happens, dude, there is no like, oh, that was a nice piece. Everybody watches this, looks at each other like, are you fucking kidding me right now? What I'm watching? Like they're at this level of terribleness that they're gonna go do these matches where they beat the fuck out of each other with a kendo stick and until they're purple and bloodied, and then in a 60-second spot you're gonna show how huge of a fucking mark you are and that you're not a star and you never will be, and then you'll take an established star like Rey Mysterio and lessen him. Unreal. Like we've talked about that the backstage on Russo brand, the backstage should be the story. They are stealing that and doing it this way. That's not what we're saying. We want when Brock comes through the fucking curtain after having the job for Rollins and he's sick of it and he fucking whips the belt at the wall. That's what we want to see, you stupid motherfuckers. Not these little heartfelt pussy ass moments where everyone's marking out for each other over a goddamn wrist wrap that says Rollins on it. Are you shitting me, dude? You know what ECW fans would do if you fucking threw that Rollins thing in the fucking crowd? They'd throw it right back at you. That shows that the fucking ECW marks, same as they did with the Cena shirt, are fucking more over in the business as being like, get the fuck out of here with this stupid little shit. Instead of, oh, I'm going to put it under my pillow at night. And Rollins, I'm his favorite now. Like, unbelievable the level that these children are playing. I cut the big promo on Friday on the locker room on Braun with the Speedo and walking in. Like, this is part 2 of that. Everyone in this sketch is ruined as far as I'm concerned.
I want to try to spin it into something constructive. If anyone that is there is listening, look at any of the greatest wrestling stories of all time. I don't care what company. Every great story blurs the lines between reality and fiction and really makes you wonder what you're seeing is real or not. Do more things that make people believe what you're doing is real. Now, go back and look at the stuff you've been doing on television and then look at that and then ask yourself, does this help me make people believe what we're doing is real? The answer clearly is no. So that question should always be asked before you put out anything. Is this going to help us make people believe more in this story? If the answer is no, you just simply don't do it. That should be the simple rule. If this does not further the realism of the story, we're not putting it out there.
You don't remember after the Mega Powers broke up when Savage got Hogan's ripped shirt? He was so excited to have it, and he put it in his bag, and he'd sleep with it at night afterwards and tell everybody about it. No, because he's not.
It was such an honor to wrestle with Hulk, and we were just buddies, and it was a good time last week that we had at WrestleMania.
Unbelievable. You have this is a whole company with children in the background. Children. It is pathetic, dude. It really is. None of them are stars. The only person there who wouldn't act like that, I gotta believe, is Randy Orton. Randy Orton probably looks at that and just fucking goes, "Sorry, you fucking worthless motherfuckers." Like to a Rey Mysterio now, even like that's special. That's special to have to have Seth's fucking wrist wrap, dude. I'd wipe my ass with it and fucking leave it in the arena. Unreal. Yeah. Unreal. Well, there goes that Monday morning monologue.
I'm out of. I don't got any more. I'm out of jokes.
Okay, it's not on you. It's on me, dude. It's on them. You know, I just can't. I cannot sell for that shit at all. It's systemic. It's worse. And like it reminds me of things like this because I'm looking at a Kurt Angle story because now Nick Hausman's back on Wrestle Stink having his fake Wrestle Zone Daily or Wrestling Daily because he couldn't do it the first time. So I'm sure this is going to hold up as well. But like, you know, doing these types of interviews and whatnot of like, we're going to get guys over and expose the business and all these little things that do nothing to further spirit. And this is not. And we're Blitz. I was working and Hausman was there as well. And, you know, backstage doing WrestleZone stuff. He sees Sandman's there. They're out back. A bunch of people standing around. He gets a beer, walks out back. He goes, "I just had to do this because you're here, man. It's my dream come true." Pops the beer, fucking starts to drink it, smashing in his face. Dude, Sandman just fucking looks him up and down, shakes his head and fucking walks away. like you're in the locker room area and where you shouldn't be to start with, really, if you're not a worker or a production person, and then you're gonna go and do that kind of shit in front of a star. You know, like that to me, I was sitting next to Ciampa. We just looked at each other and went back to lacing our boots. Fucking shake your head and fucking that's it. Like there's a definite line of those who get it and have earned it in this business. And I don't care how many WrestleManias you've been in, fought game or whatever. When those type of things go out to air and you are a part of it and you didn't stop it, I got your respect level's blown. There's no fucking excuse, anything along those lines. Their ratings will continue to drop directly because of this type of mismanagement.
No. Yeah, there needs to be someone that basically is a quality control person and says, "Hey, time out. We can't have this on social media or the W Network or whatever. This goes against the product that we are pushing on our show." You know, there has to be. bookthedoctor@gmail.com.
Amp Williams, I see you in the chat room with some good points. Real Al Plaza's here, not Steve McQueen. Society 858, Fudge 420, our own tables, Athers, and chairs back from the dead. Dua DX, and who else is in the house, man? If I'm missing you, shout out. We're live here, 28 strong, at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman, YouTube channel, Ben Hamin. You guys plenty to check out there. Appreciate all the subs. Just got over 11,600. So at about 102.5 months. Appreciate that. But if you haven't subbed, go ahead and do it. Plenty of old school stuff on there. But I can't take the Mark shit anymore, dude, unfortunately. And it continues. It continues with Miro. It continues with a lot of other shit. But we're going to get to the headlines. Is there anything else, Beast, you want to talk about before we got to get into it?
On the non-wrestling side of things, I was absolutely disgusted. I was disgusted when I saw the trailer, but even more when I read about the content of that Netflix documentary Cuties. Like, to me, that is just an example of, there's still apparently plenty of Hollywood elite that are into the pedophilia shit that Epstein and whatnot were. And, this is me, hypothesizing, but to me, that's just a clear sign that they're trying to desensitize the American public or the society in general on making pedophilia okay. And it's not. It's absolutely not. And I would encourage nobody to watch it if you're really curious on what went on inside the movie. Our own MSG actually did a review to discuss it. And part of the motivation for us having him do it was simply so Netflix did not continue to get views. And I just want to remind you that you are a bitch. Oh man, he's on it today.
It already came in. I guess
you have him on to apologize.
There's 2 messages from Friday I didn't even see. So these are live from the locker room. I just wanted to remind you that you're a bitch and a pussy. We'll see.
I better check mine too.
Then it is your boy, your mentor, your advisor, Tyler Davis, and I'm sending you this video because I demand an apology from you. And the thing has been, sometimes I feel that you are not man enough to apologize to me. Sometimes I feel like you're not man enough to look yourself in the mirror, know that you're a fat scrubber and apologize to me. That is okay, Ben. That's okay.
That's okay.
Ben, I'm going to be the bigger man, and I am going to apologize to you, Ben, to set the tone. So, Ben, Hamin, I apologize that you are a culture vulture. I apologize that you are a fat fuck. I apologize that you don't wrestle with no shirt on because you're embarrassed by how fat you are on your man titties. I apologize. No matter how hard you try, you can't get the job at WWE because Vince McMahon knows you are a fake and a pedo and he doesn't want the heat around you. So, Ben Hamin, I apologize to you, Ben. So all I'm asking for is to grow up, grow a set of balls, and apologize to me. Apologize. And then we can together start this journey on you losing some weight. Yalla, Ben. Have a great day.
Wow, that was nice.
Everybody's here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad he apologizes for me being fat. I don't know how that works, but I accept the apology for me being fat. Yalla, kicking off strong. We'll send him a picture of food real quick. Let's see if that triggers him. That's all I respond to him with. There's like pictures of donuts and bacon. Let's see here. What can we send him? That's a good donut pic. We'll send him that. Oops.
Tell him it's on the keto diet.
It's all keto. There we go. So I send him that one. I send him bacon pics. I never respond. Good stuff, you guys. I know you enjoyed that. Dr. Ted had to be re-radicalized, whipped viciously to get him back in order. But that's just what we do here, man. I take that motivation. I'm a fat fuck. That's why I hiked 6.5 miles and played 4 hours of golf. That's what I do.
I'm just glad you changed your mind on canceling the Monday locker room.
Well, I mean, it was the fact that I'm contractually obligated to Hamin Enterprises. Ben, have you ever seen the Hard Dungeon in Calgary? Do you know anyone who's been in the dungeon? Just 2 that I've met, and that is our own friend Rick Victor, aka Apocalypse, was one of the last ones out of there, along with Natty's husband, TJ. What's his last name? Can't remember. Natty's husband. And also, obviously, I've met all the Hart family, the youngsters from Teddy and Harry and Natty as well. But APOC, one of the last ones.
Yeah. And Belle Von Black as well. She was there as well.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Belle Von Black as well. Yeah, and they showed up at OVW better than everybody else because of it. they really TJ Wilson. So shout out to them. Tyson Kidd, yeah. Whatever fucking slave names I want to use. The headlines. Oh, so before we even get to another headline, a Stooge that made me upset last night. And you were kind of like, I can see the point in one, but not the other. From the Twitterverse, fines keep stacking up. First one last night. Trish Parker, you may know her better as Jordan Grace, or you may not know her by either because neither entity's over. If you're doing a group project and one person isn't doing any work and you're scared to say anything, DM me your teacher's email address and the kid's name. I got you.
Real
All
issues.
right. Half funny, but half not. But the reality is like, I'm a stooge instead of a superstar. And would remember that time you were having trouble in 4th grade and Macho Man reached out to your teacher and told her to go easy on you because you weren't good at long division? You remember when that happened?
Yeah, it was great. I was so glad. And I personally have never been a math magician, but thank God for Randy Savage.
Yeah, that's it, man. Thank you, Savage, for reaching out. Dude, you couldn't lower your, like, how do you do this and make money? Do you have a teacher you want a promo cut on or somebody in your group? Go to my Cameo and I'll fucking let them have it. We know working from home sucks. That, like, instead of, hey, DM me and I'll be a stooge and do that. Shows exactly who she is, because she is a stooge who does that and puts people on blast, but really has no legs to stand on after she goes on her OnlyFans showing, camel toe and nip and fucking wanting women's rights and equality. Now charge to pay and see my ass. Okay, sure I will. Never. The second time around, about an hour later, from Sami Zayn, everybody's favorite something, I don't know. If we wish to keep politics out of sports, quote, keep politics out of sports, that also means no longer playing the national anthem and suspending any and all military ceremonies from all sporting events. Obviously, SJW, Antifa, BLM, everything, COVID scare that he did, and everything he's done to show that he's not a star, that he's a fan in the fucking business. He obviously doesn't even know what goes on with NFL. So first of all, the game of football is a war scenario that trains young men to be warriors and strategize that way. So there's your first thing with fucking.
We're talking about real football only because I know this was a little bit of a fun debate in the Hamin Media discussion group over whether it's called what is football, what is soccer. I'll tell you one thing: nobody ever fucking calls it hand egg. But anyway, I digress.
They should, but even UK football is still military tactics. Drawing up plays and striking to hit a target is a military tactic. So right there, he's a fucking idiot. And then second part of that is you think the NFL is going to give up the money? It costs every one of those flyovers that you see is a 10 grand to 15 grand contract on every NFL game. And they do it on almost every one. So right there's your second military indoctrination. Then you are going to have the color guard with the fucking flag and the veterans at halftime. That's also paid. That isn't out of the fucking goodness of the hearts of the New York Jets. And all this shit is paid for by the military. What pays for the military? I think your tax dollars do. All of this is the propaganda that goes into it. Does he point any of that out? No. Do you want to just get rid of the national anthem? Well, it's American sports. It's not world sports, even though we say we're world champions. So it's a patriotic and nationalistic thing that people have pride about. So let's tear that down too and further strip the identity away from patriotism and country. And just trying to put it out there in a whole, this is the same argument as I pledge allegiance to the flag type shit. And I'm not here to, obviously I've interrupted. You want to talk about how far you want to go with the national anthem, bro. In Dynasty, I didn't do this in OVW. We probably would have been murdered, but in Dynasty and in Immortal Championship Wrestling, they'll play the national anthem. We've done this about 4 or 5 different places. And in the middle, they hit Call to Islamic Prayer and my music while everyone's standing with their hands over their hearts in the national anthem. You want to talk about cheap heat at the highest level? That's why I fucking do this shit, man. If you're going to make a statement, you make the statement through your art of fuck this song. What's it really mean? You're conditioned, and now we're going to get heat out of it instead of just going on Twitter like another little cunt and putting over some little gotcha tweet thinking that you're fucking witty to push your agenda instead of actually using your art and putting it out there and putting your ass on the line. Because they're, this further goes to show that, to be honest with you, I'd fire him tomorrow because you're not going to have, or today. You've got Vince who doesn't want to play the national anthem. He always plays God Bless America. You got the 9/11 stuff. Like, this is right on the heels of 9/11 too, right? Like, you think this is going to fly? Like, this guy thinks he's a draw that he can get away with this stuff. Dude, he's on the chopping block every time they have a meeting for cuts. He's on the chopping block, I guarantee it. And it's things like this that are going to send you right over the edge, dude. And they're going to be like the victim of why me, why? Instead of, he's part Syrian, he's Montreal. He doesn't look like a fucking Arab at all. He looks like an Irish or fucking Scottish kid right off the fucking boat, right? But he acts French Canadian and SJW. It's unbelievable how little identity this guy has, but he wants to tell everybody else how to fucking live their life along those lines, dude. Unreal, the boldness of this generation. Never done anything fucking that they think they can step up and dictate to him, and it's only going to come back to be bad for him.
Yeah. The shame of it is, inside the ring, he's extremely talented. And it's like, instead of focusing on making people care more about the stories he's telling, he's, trying to sound off on political issues and draw the proverbial line in the sand. And it's like, if that is what you're passionate about, then stop wrestling and go do that. You know what I mean? But what you're doing doesn't make anyone want to spend any more emotional investment on the stories you're creating in the ring. And to me, that's one of the biggest issues I have in general right now. And I think almost, half the stories we talk about, that's the issue, is people care more about things that really don't matter in the context of wrestling than the actual wrestling. And that's part of the big reason why they aren't drawing the ratings that they otherwise want. It befuddles the mind. It seems like it would be such common sense, and for some reason it just isn't.
I mean, after the crackdown on Twitch and things like that, supposedly, and whatnot, now you can use your real name and stuff like that and do this, that, and the other. Like this right here, along with the Rey Mysterio and Seth thing, dude, I'm looking at 40 grand in fines right here, dude. Just kick people's legs out. Is like every cent that Dominick made. I might not hit Dominick that hard because he's the kid, but the rest of them, every cent from those matches and those kendo stick beatings, taken, bro, because of the fact that you're not going to get it any other way. Sami Zayn is going to bitch about COVID and sit home for 5 months, collect a check, when he should have been gone after WrestleMania. No draw value. Nobody's buying Zayn shirts. Nobody's fucking buying a ticket to see Sami Zayn, dude. Nobody. And literally at this point, nobody. But this guy slides under the radar, and then shows how oblivious he is of where he is in the pecking order of wrestling to come out and drop these types of things that could cut his throat this afternoon. Like they just don't see how dangerous of a game they're playing all the time with these little virtue signaling. I have to shoot my fucking mouth off on Twitter because I think I'm somebody special.
The thing is, whether what they're standing for is right or wrong really is irrelevant. As soon as you draw that proverbial line in the sand, you're basically saying, if you don't agree with me, then don't watch me. Well, look at what has started to happen. You know what I mean? And it's like, and I'm not saying, commenting on what they're, standing up for is right or wrong. Some of it may very well be the right thing to do, but you're still saying, if you're not with me, you're against me. And the more this tribalism mindset that society seems to keep wanting to take, and I know it comes down to really our political leaders and wanting us to be more divisive and one side or the other, but they're playing right into it, and if they want to keep doing it, that's fine, but the ratings are going to keep going a certain way, and the people that really are in power are going to just keep getting more of that power. So good for you. Keep giving it to them. It's ridiculous that they can't see the forest through the trees.
It is exactly that they can't, and they get hot about it, and like they're gonna do something about it, and they scream, kick and scream, and then 72 hours later, this shit's happening. This is your chance to make an example of somebody. I'd say we fired him for social media infractions, and we don't wish him the best in his future endeavors. In fact, we actually
we don't wish him the best.
Yeah, we actually wish you to tweet more and further bury your career. That's what we hope to tweet. That's what I'd convince Vince of putting that message out. Tweet about it more. See how it goes. Y'all, man, brutal, and that's not even the headlines. Jesus Christ. Forget the story on Dominick. Oh no, what did Vince McMahon say to Dominick after his match?
He was so proud.
Pal, I'm damn proud of you.
But that, I was actually fine with it. I mean, he was gesturing for the camera. I don't think he really would have necessarily been that way if the cameras weren't on him and they were filming the documentary, but maybe I'm wrong on that.
See, that part I don't have a problem with, of him coming through. Like I said, you want to show backstage, that's what you show, the Raw after hours of him coming through as a kid in that moment. That's what you show, not this fucking lamented, I'm so honored to have Seth Rollins' wrist wrap. What the fuck, bro? I know you like those whisper voices.
I do love the whisper voices. That's my favorite.
Kurt Angle details roles WWE pitched him before deciding not to re-sign. One of Angle's last storylines with WWE was when he was the referee in the pit fight with Tim Thatcher and Riddle. Angle gave his thoughts on being part of that. I thought it was cool. It was a great way for Matt to leave NXT and to give Thatcher a little bit of a rub, so I thought it worked out well. It was a great match. Thought they did a great job. He says that he was offered the spot to manage Riddle, but turned that down a few months ago. He said they also offered a Legends deal. We weren't able to get a contract done, but I'm cool with WWE. We're in good terms. There's no bad blood. Every once in a while, they call me to use me for something. I did a couple of appearances on TV a few months ago. Today, they had me do an ad for one of their sponsors, so I did an ad for them. So they still reach out to me. I'm just under contract. I'm just not under contract, and I kind of like that. Angle elaborated on the details of coaching deal that would have him working at the Performance Center with Performance Center recruits through online meetings, going over their in-ring work and promo work. He said the schedule was manageable, but nothing really came of it. Interesting, dude. I think that's a fucking awesome role for him, and the fact that they're not doing that is big mistake. Also interesting to know that he's not under WWE contract, which means he could show up at Impact or AEW on any given Sunday once that information's out there now, dude. So I think it's crazy not to have him in there as a part of the Raw Underground shit, man. That would be where I'd put him.
I mean, even if he wasn't on TV, just having him in a advisory role or helping the trainer, producer, whatever. I mean, he's one of the few guys that not only can bring the athleticism and intensity inside the ring, he also knows how to play the over the top, comedy bits and as well, and to get character over. But the fact that they don't have him locked down in some capacity is crazy. It really is. Well,
we did have a story on the Friday locker room about it, and that they didn't bring him back after the Impact run because they didn't want him dying on their watch, because he was taking 80 pills a day and some shit. And the problem is if he's not on the road or around people, who knows how much he's taking right now, possibly at home too, you know what I mean? Hopefully his body is healing up and he's not needing it. But once you get on that opiate addiction, I've seen guys on it, it's a very hard one to kick, and maybe that's a reason why he's not signed as well, because they don't want the liability of what could be, because they don't know what shape he's in.
I mean, but that's where, again, having him in an advisory role or something like that. I mean, the thing is, if I feel like whether or not he's under contract or not, I mean, he's not actively wrestling. So if something happens to Kurt Angle, there's still going to be, WWE's still going to be hit up in the news about it, whether he's with them currently or not. I mean, I guess certainly if he's with them, then that would be, even more on them. But, I just think it's a shame. But I mean, at least they're still bringing him in. But, it wouldn't surprise me if like AEW made a move and brought him in. In fact, I probably think that is what's going to happen at some point in the next few months. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I wouldn't either. And then he can have another black kid over there. He's we'll see.
Scorpio skies. No.
Yeah, he's the house party father of the both of them. Surprise, I'm your dad.
Yeah.
WWE reportedly made over 60 releases this week. Let's hope Sami Zayn was one. And Braun. While it was reported that Gerald Brisco was released, it has been confirmed that over 60 employees were let go from the company. PW Insider reports via Pat Buck that one source believes there were more than 60 staffers let go on Thursday throughout the different departments. The majority of cuts came from the people who were furloughed previously, and they haven't been active due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The travel and live events department was reportedly hit the hardest by this. So there was 240 workers furloughed, so there goes 25% of them.
The thing that gets me about this story is, at least from what I understand, is that they were strung along and told they would be brought back. And the thing is, if you were unsure, just be honest about it. I'm reading a great book right now. It's called Radical Candor, and it just basically talks about what every business really should be doing. And it's speaking openly and honestly to your employees or team members to be able to empower them, but also not pull the wool over their eyes or bullshit them. If someone is doing shoddy work, you let them know. If you don't know if you're going to be able to bring people back unless things turn around in the global landscape, then tell them. Say, we hope we can bring you back. Right now, we don't know. Instead, say, no, we are going to bring you back. Don't worry. Don't worry. Tell everyone not to worry. And then, oh, I guess you should have been worried. That's the worst part about me. Just be open and honest and truthful. If you know for a fact you can bring them back, we have the money in reserves and we can, cool. But don't make people believe that their futures are safe when they actually may not be. And apparently they weren't. And that's the real shame of it. And that's where it comes down to, having quality control and making sure we're communicating the right things to either our employees or to the audience that we're making these, emotional investment promises to, and the stories that we're telling. It all comes down to quality control. And unfortunately, we are seeing that simply there isn't a proper checks and balances right now. And that doesn't go just for WWE. We see it, across the board and other companies as well. But, obviously with them being the top of the heap, so to speak, they get more of the flack for it. But yeah, it's just ridiculous. And I truly feel bad for all the people that were let go that thought they were going to be brought back, because it's bullshit. It's bullshit. They were told one thing only for something else to happen.
I'm shocked at that, because I was told that OVW is going to be a WWE developmental for all time. There's no way they're going to get rid of OVW as a developmental, right?
Yeah. 1 month prior to
6 weeks later. Yeah. Triple H is looking all of us right in the fucking face. OVW will always be a part of WWE. They've made the best stars, and there's no way we would get rid of this.
Not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere. Sure it ain't, buddy. That's the liars of. And then the quarter before, what they say, we've got $40 million in liquid profit this way. They're like, okay, do you think you might want
to? The other part of it, to say, we're having record profit, because of all the cuts essentially, and then, well, we might have made record profits, but we're not going to keep you guys around. Sorry.
We're not going to, and that's all just for Nick Hausman on the conference call. All the bullshit, these little things where they move money around and they cash in early and do SEC violations where they cash in their overstock because they have knowledge of what's coming in a shitty quarter. 2 weeks ahead of times? They've done it 4 or 5 times now. Where's Andrew Yang on this stuff? I sent Andrew Yang a message. I mean, as you saw, it signed at Ben Sierra. They need to, this is where you're going to get them. If you're going to do the Al Capone shit where we know Al Capone killed and did whatever and bootlegged and money laundered, would they get him on? Tax evasion.
Oh,
and he dies in prison because of that. They're like, that's what it is. If you're looking at it, and GGP says it all the time, you follow the money. It's not hard right here to tack the McMahon's nuts to the wall in a public forum, especially if you're Andrew Yang, just with the stock cash in alone, then back it up with this kind of shit, bro. You'd have them sweating. They'd be crushed. Because their whole focus would have to be on that. And they can't even focus on their own product to do damage control, let alone deal with that issue in the public eye of straight stealing from stockholders and juking the stock price for their own millionaires. And he fell off the Forbes richest 400 Americans list last week too. So you think he's not doing that just to chop 60 people? Not because he can't be on the top 500. I can't be in the top 500. I got to be in the top 400. Then fuck those people. Get rid of 60. I got to get back to the top 400. It could be just based off of that alone, of a fucking billionaire falling off a top 400 list, a PWI 500 of his own to spot 414. And now he's going to fucking axe 60 people and fuck their lives over to make sure he gets back on some list.
Yeah. It boggles the mind. It really does.
I got Seth Rollins' wrist strap. I'm going to put it in my scrapbook.
It's very special to me.
Oh my God, it's good. He wore my dad. My dad premiered at SummerSlam and wore a purple Riddler thing. And now Seth wore one in my dad's original type gear. And we wrestled. Jeez Christ. Update on this week's AEW Dynamite air date and time. It'll be back on Wednesday at 8 this week. Confirmed for this week's show, parking lot fight, Best Friends versus Santana and Ortiz. FTR versus Jurassic Express. Boy, what a great match that'll be. Chris Jericho and Hager versus Private Party. Ugh. If they don't beat Private Party in under fucking 3 minutes, everybody's fucked. Same with FTR, really. And Hangman Page versus Kazarian, which should be actually really good. But those first parking lot fight could be okay if it's done with the right gimmicks and not going into business for themselves. But of course, it won't be. I'd do something funnier on the mom in the finish where she hits one of the guys with the minivan and the Best Friends get the hell out of there. And mom's now a heel for "Don't You Hurt My Son" or whatever it is. But we'll see, man. Disco Inferno had some really great points on Russo brand, or on, might have been on Keep 100. I can't remember, where he was talking about them being belly blushed and being effed over. So Matt does the crazy bumps, gets knocked the fuck out stupidly. Then Rebby says that Matt 1,000% has a full concussion. Then Matt comes and Khan says Matt's cleared all protocol, so he's fine. Matt comes on their TV, says when he gets cleared, he's going to be fine. So which is it? Is he cleared? Does he have a concussion, or did he not have a concussion? Khan's caught with his pants down, lying to his little scrum Mark Ryder fucking sheet writer press conference that's a New Japan Wrong style rip off, just to say I, me, my idea, I did it, I cleared him, I rang the bell, I rang both bells, he got his bell rung because of my decision. Like, and we just keep going forward and forward with these things where people are putting themselves in a position to be sued later because of liability, instead of just, like you said, being brutally honest with a fucked up situation. Trying to cover it over and sweep it under the rug is only going to come back to get you worse.
Yeah, like I said, I would have rather them just come out and say, we fucked up, and from now on, you're never going to see this happen again. Now, maybe, to that extent, they realized their mistake, and rather than coming straight out with it, they said, okay, maybe they apologized to the locker. I mean, I don't know. I'm just theorizing, playing devil's advocate. Maybe, they realized their mistake and it really won't happen again. I don't know. And they just figured, with all the controversy that this caused, that they're playing it up. And to an extent, I'm okay with it, as long as the shoot thing that's going on is they're going to take care of people's health. And I haven't been given any indication that is the case. That being said, they are getting some publicity out of this. And so if I was writing on the show, that's where, to play the double-edged sword, I would play it up. And perhaps this is a perfect opportunity to start making Tony Khan kind of like a heel, you know what I mean? And then they can have a worked injury to where he's like, go on out there. You know what I mean?
This won't make any sense anybody else, but if you put him on camera and start doing that, you're going to have a Christian Muscagni situation like that, dude.
Yeah.
It's going to lead right to it. I know. Seemed good in the beginning. Didn't turn out so well, did it? You know, it's gonna be like that, dude. Like, and that's where we're going. There's no way he can keep himself off camera. He can't do it. And based off of these interviews I've seen, I think this kid's been in therapy since he was really young, because that I, me, my talk is all self-focused on that. And I think that's what it's like for him all the time, and whatever way it is. But as far as doing business goes, just absolutely brutal, as we saw with Miro, dude. Just, you get one chance to make a first impression, and they bring him out in Mickey Mouse pink top, some pajama pants, and his hair dyed like Eminem from 2012, not even like 2008. Like, this is supposed to be a Russian killer, and you're going to bring him out in a comedy segment to be the best man, just to do a little shitty promo with Chris Sabin and his chick, who aren't over at all, on the heels of bringing out what should have been a big debut in fucking, what's his name? Fucking, holy fuck. The kid of Crazy Fucker. I'm drawing a fucking blank.
I say I don't. Unfortunately, I don't watch AEW, so I'm not sure.
Oh, help me, chat. Oh, what the fuck is his fucking name? Brian Pillman's kid. Brian
Pillman Jr.
Yeah, Brian Pillman comes out to fucking. I actually had to look. Holy fuck! This is gonna go bad. I looked to my left, and it's sitting right there in front of me. Best of Brian Pillman. You know, Pillman's kid, he looked great. He looked jacked. He looked like, and that's his debut on TV. After you used him in dark, he hasn't been on AEW TV. That's a huge fucking debut, and to tie him to Sabin wouldn't have been that bad. Instead, you fucking lower the bar for him and bring out Miro. So, dude, Miro is a top fucking heel. Rusev is a top guy to get to jump ship, and you're gonna bring him out looking like that? Like a fucking idiot 14-year-old who eats fucking fruit by the foot and sits home and plays video games all day, got into his mom's fucking hair dye. And that's supposed to be the mauler, instead of coming in and killing somebody, beating the fuck. He's jacked on roids like a motherfucker. You'd want him to come in and start something serious with a Brian Cage or some shit like that. Instead, he's standing next to a kid in yoga pants and a cut-off half shirt, saying he's the best man in a phony wedding angle, which he just got out of in WWE that ruined him. So you know what? The best way to fucking bring a guy in, when people wanted to see him rip people's heads off for 6 months, but he was in a wedding angle, you know what? Let's put him in another shitty wedding angle that no one gives a fuck about. I wrote that. I wrote that in 15 minutes. I came up with that. I did. Like, dude, you couldn't get a worse sketch for a fucking first impression debut. You couldn't, for not just one guy, but two guys, to lower the value of their debuts, to do what? With Chris Sabin, who probably should fucking be fired because he has no real draw value. The chick is hot and easy on the eyes, but no one gives a shit about either of them together. It's her being broken off and him going back to UK as an indie worker, because you got to make room for real workers. Why the fuck are you even putting Jericho and Hager together? Hager's a star on his own. Jericho's a star on his own. You've got a packed tag division that you can't even get over. Now you're going to take two stars and put them in against your made tags like FTR, the Bucks, Jurassic Express, LAX, and they got to go over on them because they're made guys. So now you're going to fucking take your tag guys and have them go under for these dudes. I wrote this. 15 minutes. I came up with that. Absolute brutality. And I expect no big changes for Wednesday, even as the ratings go up, and give them a false positive that they're doing something right. You can go listen to Russo, Cornette, K100, and everybody is just fucking befuddled about the stupidity and booking that goes on there. How is a Jericho even allowing this to happen is what I say, Fucking pajama pants and a Mickey Mouse shirt on a fucking Russian killer. Get the I'd put him in a gay angle right out of the fucking gate with Sunny Kiss on that. If that's what you want to fucking be, that's what you are, bro.
So just as someone that doesn't have the context of really what goes on other than trying to watch the pay-per-views, is it possible that because his last run, I mean, the most over thing that Rusev did in his time at WWE, and from what I saw or understood, was the Rusev Day gimmick. So I feel like maybe they're just trying to play off that and realize, he was most over when he was doing the comedy stuff. But to your point, I also feel like that's where you start off in one direction and bring it back around because it's more meaningful. I think part of the reason the Rusev Day stuff got over is because his character kind of came around to it. He started off as the Russian brute, and then when he finally got to come around the context of seeing him as a killer and then being funny, he still had the legitimacy of being brutal, but we got to see a deeper side of him that was over versus just shotgunning right to the funny part, because they're assuming everyone that watches AEW knows what he did prior, and you can't assume that. You just can't. You have to present it like this is our unique product and not based off what other companies have done. But that would be my counterpoint, is perhaps they just felt because he was over as the comedy character in WWE that they're bringing him in that way. But to your point, I don't disagree. I think if he could have worked into, over the next year and a half, had a good run as a heel or more serious character, and then came back around to the funny stuff, it would have been even more over the second time than just going straight to it. Like, oh yeah, you all thought this was funny, right? Here you go. It's almost like you can't placate fans just that instantly. You have to make them follow the story of it versus just serving it on a silver platter, because it's just not as meaningful. There's no context behind it.
And now Brian Pillman Jr. doesn't mean shit either. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, those are two major properties. And somebody said Kip Sabian, like that'll go to show you, if I get the name wrong, that he's not over. It's not worth me remembering his name. Like it means so little. He's the C player in that scene. And the A and B player also got marginalized. They didn't get over whatsoever. You took a Russian killer and made him look like he went into your sister's fucking closet and took out her Sunday pajama stuff. And that's what he wanted to wear on TV. How does that make any sense in what your investment is whatsoever? And obviously this guy doesn't know. I don't care if he's wrestled John Cena or not. He doesn't know his own value. If he thinks that little cutesy shit is the way to go, absolutely ridiculous. Again, people who say they're stars who have no idea how to be a star, bro. 0 cents. And here's one that got a couple people hot. I don't know if it was me or not. I shook my head and was like, because we've been through this enough. You've been through it. I mean, we have at OVW where we write stuff. I remember when we were writing, here's one. Remember we were writing for Ranger Milton, and what would he do every week?
Well, that's when he was doing the gimmick. He was like doing a different gimmick character every week.
Every week he'd come out and kind of do what you're doing a little bit, right? He'd either be a Hamin, he'd be a Milton Hamin, or he'd come out as somebody else and impersonate him. What was it? 4 months after that, we started doing that. Charlie Haas is doing the exact same angle. On that was probably one of the first things we really had stolen from us, I think, directly, where me, you, and Power are like, are you fucking kidding me? This is our shittiest stuff, and this is what they're stealing from us, And since time, that was 11 years ago, I've probably had 8 or 9 things stolen and put on TV because of the Stooges, and it trickles up that way. Some things are close happenstance, but there's some things that are undeniable. Well, here's one. Bray Wyatt debuts Wobbly Walrus in the Firefly Funhouse. After promising to bring a new character into the Firefly Funhouse, Bray Wyatt delivered on his word with Wobbly Walrus. The latest episode saw Wyatt debut his new character, which is in advisor and friend it is, Wobbly Walrus. A puppet is clearly a mockery of Paul Heyman, proving that this rivalry with Roman Reigns is far from over as they try and do that. Really, this is taken right from Russo brand, wanting him to be animated and making him into a walrus, which you can go back and see Vince say plenty of times. And now here we are. People have made the walrus joke in promos before. I get it. But also in the sketch was, yeah, pal, I'm back. I'm back, pal. Yeah, Vincey. Vince is the devil. They're directly listening to Master Shoot Theater. I appreciate your guys' subscriptions, whoever does it. Because there's 3 things in this sketch that are directly taken from Master Shoot Theater.
I mean, the royalty checks should be coming, right?
Exactly. Well, here they can't wait forever because they're only going to get 10% of the idea and then do it wrong and not get max value. So they'll continue to do that and it'll become undeniable and they'll be exposed for that.
No.
Maybe Bray got the idea from Russo. They DM each other apparently. Kayfabe, Briz. There's, like I said, there's fucking, I can name 4 or 5 stars that DM with Russo who are on SmackDown Raw roster right now who have, this is the last 6 months, just been fed up with the bullshit and they want anything to go and pitch, and then comes up with great ideas for them and they go and pitch it, and after like 3 weeks later, and then it gets shot down. I'm not going to name their names. I'm going to bring heat on them, but that shows you how fucked WWE is. The guy whose name shall not be mentioned in their locker rooms is getting hit up by 5 or 6 of their top talents for ideas on the kayfabe that they then go pitch as their own, which most of get shot down because it's their own. But then the ones they use, they don't even know are coming out of Russo and Hamin and Stevie Richards' mind. That's how fucking closed off in their bubble they are, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, truly, unfortunately, their best chance to pitch is to pitch it as their own, because obviously they're not going to definitely have an outsider pitch it, but it's ridiculous. It's like, clearly if you're going to take ideas, why not actually collaborate with the people you're stealing from instead of, so that way you can at least get the context of the idea and have the understanding of where the heat is or where the mechanism for getting over actually is, rather than I'm going to take a little piece of this idea, not do it completely, but hope it works. That's the craziest part. It's like, why not at least reach out and at least have a conversation about bringing it, bringing in the people that you're stealing from versus just stealing blatantly. It's like, and it's not about the stealing. It's more so having the context of it. Clearly you like the ideas. Why not collaborate with people with the ideas? You know what I mean?
If they only would have fucking, I'm not going to say his name. Fuck it. Yalla. Mike Rotunda and Sarah Stock both reportedly released by WWE after Joe Brisco confirmed everyone's like shocked about Brisco. I'm like, dude, the guy has had a job for 30 years. If he hasn't put enough money away to retire, like the picture of him, he looks like an old man, right? Dude. I'd be fucking pumped to retire. Be like, I'm done with this shit. I got enough money now. I can do what the fuck I want to do, not be on the road, like crazy.
Right.
But so everyone's in shock that Brisco got fucking sacked after 30 years. Mike Rotunda, Sarah Stock also gone. PW Insiders reported via Pat Buck. Mike Johnson, that Mike Rotunda has been let go from the company. Rotunda is well known as an in-ring performer, IRS, and is also the father of both Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas. He's been working as an agent producer since 2006 and was on furlough since April when WWE initially made cutbacks due to COVID-19. This isn't the only release. As Fightful Select reports, Sarah Stock, known as Sarita, during her in-ring career, has also been let go. She has been an agent producer for several years and was also furloughed earlier. I'm surprised about Rotunda. I think they could have actually done something good with Mike Rotunda in the Wyatt family stuff. I would have done something with Bo and him, dude. That would have been good. There was opportunity. But yeah, when I saw Sarah Stock, I always think that but Sarah Amato, that's Sarah Del Rey. She's still in NXT, which I don't know if she will or not. That's what I thought it was, but Sarah Stock is another wrestler. I'm sure they're fucking also looking out of the corner of their eyes of like, what the fuck did we do after Serena showed up on AEW and showed that she's the best wrestler in all of women's wrestling right now and doing next to nothing and getting over 110%. We'll see.
And the thing is that wasn't even her best performance. You know what I mean? And it's like already, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's a good idea. What about let's get Gerald Brisco a podcast? Well, I'll have my boys reach out. Actually, that's a good idea before Fat Mortgage fucking gets a hold of them. Brisco says, okay, want to get this right out of the way. Last night I received a call from the WWE chairman of the board, Vince McMahon, to let me know after 36 years of dedication to WWE, I am no longer needed. I'm okay with this. I'll still be around to help talent. More info will follow. I appreciate all the well wishes. I'd also like to add that I need a little space. So everyone asking for an interview at this time, I need to step back and take a deep breath. Just remember, I have no anger, just emotions at this time. Dude. Wow, he's going off on it. And Regal chimes in, and fucking Michael Hayes chimes in, and it's just like, dude, I get it. That's your life, but 36 years, that's a full career. Like, did Brisco Brothers Body Shop really take that much money out of your pocket? Like, retire, dude. Like, what else is there to really want to do and improve? How about Vince calling you? Your services are no longer needed. It's interesting that he fucking worded it like that in his tweet.
Yeah, that is weird.
Let's see here. Shawn Michaels reflects on going to Raw after the Montreal screw job. Okay. Says, clearly you're worried about going, but it's one of those things where I wonder what it's going to be like. As far as what everybody thought, I couldn't care, but I asked about one dude. I said, where's Taker? They said that was that he was in with Vince, and you have to understand we had been there for the longest time, and it's two very different guys with different personalities. Even then, we knew there was two sorts of pillars in WWE that everything was sort of built around. That's the only person where I wanted to know where he's at with this. If there's somebody you have to sit there and have a chat with, it's going to be him. For all this to move forward, he and I are going to have to find a way. And Vince clearly knew the same thing, and that's why he was the first guy he talked to. Well, I guess, man. I mean, you don't want to get your fucking ass handed to you by him, and especially if you didn't clear it beforehand. Better to ask forgiveness than permission in wrestling. However, asking forgiveness might get you fucking throttled against the lockers with a broken nose. So I can understand why he'd be a little fucking shook up. And the way he plays it, it's like, it's all about respect. What the reality is your asshole's puckered up the size of a dime thinking you're about to fucking get destroyed as soon as you walk through the curtain.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've never really had to play that game. I mean, the companies we've worked for, they're built around somebody, but it's never like I'm going to do this to get around a guy in the locker room to fucking get my business over, you know?
Right.
I can't think of any scenarios that way that I've had to anyway, but they put themselves in that shit. So it is what it is. What are you thinking on that, Beast?
Just more so it behooves them to keep the locker room as peaceful as possible. But I feel like the mantra, or not for lack of a better word, or what they tend to do is they like playing the chess pieces to get them fired up. And my guess is the rationale is, that'll really help to create the fire in their bellies to really rise to the top and grab that proverbial brass ring and be the next Stone Cold. But in actuality, they're destroying the culture of the locker room. When you have infighting like that, it makes it so much harder to get actual business done, in my opinion.
Definitely, because now you're going all the way around it to pop some people in the back or please some people in the back, as opposed to at that time, fucking 5-6 million people that were watching. And, that's just the sickness of wrestling. But here on top of that is the same things that go on, a little bit more lighthearted. But R-Truth reveals he was challenged to make Brock Lesnar laugh over a bet. R-Truth recently shared a hilarious story while he worked hard to try and make Brock Lesnar laugh on WWE Raw. Fans may remember that segment with Paulie and them. He says, I remember Hamin called me to gorilla position. And this is like 20 minutes before we had to go out. Truth recalled, I had no promo. They didn't give me nothing. And I'm like, what am I supposed to say? Paul was like, well, we have a bet going. We don't want Brock to know what you're going to say. We want you to make Brock laugh. I said, huh? Truth, you're a funny guy, and we have a bet you can't make Brock laugh. I think you can, but they think you can't. So just wing it. Once Brock came in, I'm like, damn, I think we should all tell Brock what I'm going to say. You know, it's Brock Lesnar. We should tell Brock what I'm going to say. I don't want him to be surprised by anything. And Paul's like, this is going to be great. They turned it into Vince at the end. I remember the moment in the ring, I'm going on and making stuff up in my head. I saw when Brock looked at me, as in the look of, what the hell is he talking about? Because I'm just babbling. I knew I had him then. I did all I could do to hold myself from laughing when I saw Brock bust out laughing because of Paul Heyman's facial expressions. The magic just kept going on, man. R-Truth revealed that once they got to the back, he received nothing but praise from the Beast himself. He said after that segment is over, we're in the back and Brock was laughing. He said, bro, we got to do something together. There's something there. I don't know what it is, but there's something there. We left it there, but I know we can always pick it up. That was one of the highest moments of my career right there, to have Brock Lesnar say, we got to do something. It was very appreciated for myself, to my ego, and to my time spent in the business. Brock, pretty much, he gave it a hug. Yeah, that was a great segment. And why? I mean, we can shit on it for the fact that we don't have anything for you as we're about to go to live TV, just wing it. That's like, well, what the fuck? And they're making bets to pop Brock between themselves, which shows they don't give a fuck about what you have in a storyline going on at home. It's all for an audience of 5 people in gorilla position who fucking will tank the show at the chance that they're going to make Brock laugh, and that makes them laugh. So fuck the audience, fuck the sponsors. Now, the other side of that coin, the positive side, is R-Truth is a phenomenal performer and a funny dude, and that segment stuck out as magic. Why? Because it's improvised. It's in the moment. It's not scripted. It's not anything that feels a certain way where one player knows what's coming, and the reactions are absolutely real. And to see Brock Lesnar laugh is okay because it's not a setup for him to act like he's laughing. It's true and in the moment, and you can feel it and respect it, and you're right there on the edge of the razor blade living it. When you try and do anything scripted, you're F. So the premise of why it got set up that way for somebody to fail, what if he fell on his fucking face and that segment sucked, right? Like, now we had a chance to spend $300,000 on a segment for this quarter hour that could have gotten over, but we fucked it up for our own egos. However, it's not that, because R-Truth can deliver 15 different ways. And they haven't gone back to it yet. And there is opportunity there to come back and do a callback and have some funny, interesting things to tune into. But really, this is based on R-Truth's improvisation skills to save all this. How do we make that the norm? This is what I've been working for 13 years, to make that the norm. And if they can do it in that scene, and then they go, that was brilliant, man, back to scripted. No, let's stay where brilliant is. How do we get brilliant out of everybody? How do we need to train everybody for 2 years so they can walk up in the afternoon and go, Brock's going to go out. I want you to wing it. Just go down this way. Try and make them laugh if you can, but stay in character. Okay, next scene. Charlotte is upset about something. Try and make her cry by needling her as much as you can. I don't want to know what you know what I mean? And if we cut it later, we cut it. But the moments that we are missing because of not doing things in an improvised moment like that, when we see the magic, and then we just like, back to what Michael Hayes wrote and back to what Pritchard wrote, because that's really doing good stuff. Nope. Empower your performers to be their best.
And not to mention, it's like a long-term insurance policy. You get your performers to learn how to work. Oh, imagine that. They know how to work. And then when they wind up in these situations where the audience goes a certain way that they didn't expect, and they know how to play it up and play into it and make it an even better scene versus sticking with whatever was pre-planned, that's when the magic happens. And again, it's like a long-term insurance policy, because now you're creating a culture of people who know how to perform and know how to enhance each the other performers in the scenes that they're in and be able to elevate each other, versus being really good at reading a script and performing in a certain way, regardless of how the audience reacts. Let's not forget, this is live performance. What happens out there during live performance on the fly should dictate what continues to happen in the context of the match, because sometimes things don't go right. Then what do you do? Well, we just got to go back with what we pre-planned, because we told them the camera shots and we told them exactly where we're going to be, this, that, and the other, you know what I mean? Versus saying, okay, shit went down, we got to change it on the fly. And yeah, it's like the art of working is slowly going away because of it. And I really worry for the future, because it's not going down the right path for growth.
No, not to be able to know that there are no mistakes. Everything's a gift. If something's not right, it was supposed to be there. How do I take that and work that into the sauce? It's going to be different, but dude, that's, and the audience is with you. That's the agreement of improv. Sure, there's the people on stage, but the agreement is really with the audience, that they know that this isn't scripted and that anything can happen. And we all agree to that, walking the tightrope with no net underneath, and we could fall. That danger is the underlying love. So when you stick the landing or you make it across the rope, people are like, yeah, they fucking did it. And we have even more of a sense of satisfaction and endearment towards the performers, because they took us on a very dangerous premise, and they could have fallen off and everything could have crashed and the scene could have sucked. But if we make it to the other side and we're with it, it's such a great feeling. But they rarely ever even get that first step out on the high wire, or they step out and they go, we did it. And that's it. You know what I mean? So I hope that, this is long enough ago that it's already forgotten about, I guess, but R-Truth, the true pro.
Yeah. And it's a shame they didn't follow that up, because like I said, it was good. And then they just didn't really do anything with it afterwards, but that totally could have been played up. And, it could have been, he has Brock Lesnar, he's going to come up with new merchandising for them, and he's going to help make Brock more money. And then Brock's very reluctant to it, but then all of a sudden it gets over, and then he's more willing to, allow R-Truth to be a part of the Brock Lesnar, group, because he's helping bring in money, even though he's reluctant to, just little things like that. And they just play off the scenes of Brock's annoyed, but R-Truth is helping to get him, more money in his bank account. You know what I mean? Just with the merchandising or whatever, just over the top ridiculous. That is R-Truth. And again, it could have all been improv, and it would have been gold.
One thing that's heavily scripted and not improv is Mandy Rose drafted to Monday Night Raw to further the Otis Miz storyline. Miz comes out with a statement. Fox and USA networks rely on me. They listen to every word I pitch, every pitch I have, and boy, did I have a pitch for USA Network. Ladies and gentlemen, as of 10:01 on 9/11/2020, never forget, Mandy Rose is now on the roster of USA Network's Monday Night Raw. Why? Let's put it this way. Money in the Bank contract. It's very important. Otis needs to concentrate, focus, and get rid of every distraction he has. Mandy Rose is a distraction to someone who could be the Universal Champion. Mandy Rose is on the move. The Golden Goddess has now been traded to Raw. Exact opposite of everything we're talking about here. Exact opposite. Why would you even stooge that off instead of just having her show up and be a distraction?
Yeah, I feel like there's more of the story that could have been played out there, and instead it's just like, well, it's more just throwing shit against the wall and hoping something sticks, without trying to find a way to create context that you've already created behind something like that. If they were to want to do that, it just seems very out of the blue, and otherwise no, from a storyline standpoint, rationale for it.
I don't know why he would stooge it off in that way instead of having a big moment. All these big moments that we could have are getting killed, whether it's Miro and fucking Pillman Jr., her showing up. I heard that they wanted the walking chick backstage with the feet and the legs shot to be Eva Marie. Now it's going to be Carmella. They don't even fucking have a clue of which way to go with things week to week, dude. And that's unbelievable to me, because I can break out fucking spiral notebooks from 2008 where me, you, and Power got 12 weeks of TV written out, and it's verbatim how we fucking go through it. It's just unreal that guys are walking up to Gorilla Go out and make them laugh. Yeah, all right. We got a bet. I've got to win this bet. So that was our first of the trifecta go home of terrible girls news. Bailey, and actually,
well, real quick, I want to touch on one thing because in the YouTube chat room, people are talking about going back to working and rest holds and what that means as far as the context of working in a match. I'll say at OVW, the way I always taught, there's no such thing as a rest hold. Now you can grab a hold, but it should always be worked. In the context of the match. If earlier in the match you hurt your ankle, and you work a headlock, then work up to your feet, try to grab the guy, pick him up, and then your ankle goes out. You know what I mean? You're trying to find a way to break the hold or reverse out of it. There's no such thing as a rest hold. And if wrestlers are doing holds just to catch a breath and to sit there, that is wrong. It's all about how you work it, and not to get off on that tangent. But sometimes I hate even the term rest hold because in my opinion, it should never be a rest. You're always working. When those cameras are on or you're out in front of that audience, it's always a work and never a rest.
If you want to rest as a heel, best way to do it is to...
You can still grab a hold, but you got to continue to work. It's not just grab it sitting there. You know what I mean? You're working your way around. You're finding ways to dig your thumb into the eye. You can still catch a breath during that, but to just sit there and only have it for the sake of allowing the announcers to put you over or to catch your breath is asinine. You're still performing. From the time you come out of that curtain to the time you leave, the performance is always on. And so if at any point you're not doing that, you're not doing your job as a wrestler.
Yeah, sorry. If you're up like me and you're sucking wind because some little wiry asshole like Man Beast or Adam Revolver has got you blown up because they're so fucking fast and chain, and you're like, what the fuck? Rest hole is there, but you still got to work. My favorite thing is to roll the fuck out, roll out,
working still.
And then he can get up on the second turnbuckle. Come on, and then the crowd can get into it. I'm in between them both, looking back and forth, and I can react. I'm getting a little bit of, in my mind, I'm going, do the seal breathing. 1,000, 2,000.
Yeah. You ever see those old timey wrestlers? This is something that Rip said that he's hearing the breathing. They're like, part of that is the breathing through to be able to get oxygen properly and not get out of breath.
That's Mick Foley 101, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So then after you get close to your 8 or 9 count, you jump back up on the apron, flip him off or whatever. He comes to you, you grab an arm, pull down, give him the fucking hangman, and now the ref's with him. You got another 10 seconds. Or he fucking powders out, goes to do something to you, you put him in the post, he's down, you roll back in, get up on the second rope and put your arms up while he sells for 10 seconds. Now you've got, it's 20 seconds, but really in wrestling time, it's about 45 seconds to get your shit back together. And you've done something to get cheap heel heat on the fucking baby on the outside while you roll in to get back in to make him look athletic again while you get fucking blown up as a big fat bastard who eats pieces and eats pizza and eats fucking donuts. Bruv, I'm here to fucking help you, bruv.
Yeah, you lost 60 pounds. So what? Your job's not done.
That's right. You big fat fuck hiking 6.5 miles in the fucking mountains, you fat fucker, bruv. Okay. Culture Vulture Ronda Rousey is training in a wrestling ring with Teal Piper. Imagine images of Ronda Rousey back in the wrestling ring have been shown online, and she's been working with a daughter of Roddy Piper. Former Raw Women's Champ hasn't been seen since WrestleMania 35, where she lost her title in a main event against Becky and Charlotte. But now, for the first time since then, former UFC star has been shown stooging off her business inside a wrestling ring. Ronda was working with a daughter of Roddy Piper, Teal Piper, who shared the images on her Instagram account because they just can't protect their fucking business whatsoever. Yeah, man, I don't know how good of a worker Teal Piper is. Obviously, Ronda ripped off the Roddy gimmick, so this is an easy thing to pair them both together because they're both probably pretty green. And get them back in the ring bring them back for a lackluster women's tag run that no one really give a fuck about. My thing with Piper, 2CW, before he did that, he had one part of the agreement was that his kid had to have a match, Colt Toombs, and nice kid, but he worked Slick Wagner Brown, who's a veteran Northeastern worker, 22 decades. Like, he's worked everybody. I mean, awesome champion everywhere he goes. But the kid was fucking green. And the kid was an MMA fighter, supposedly, or trained MMA. And he was like, not trying to shoot on Slick, but like didn't know how to do working punches. Dude, Slick tuned him the fuck up. The kid came back, beat to shit. I remember Piper going over to check on him. Kid's got a fucking bloody lip, knot on his head. He's all fucked up, limping back because he didn't know what he was doing. I think it was like his second match. And they put him in with Slick Slick to carry him. And Slick wasn't taking liberties with him. It's just the kid didn't know what the fuck he was doing. And I was kind of shocked at that. So I seen one Piper's kid not really do too well. I hope Teal is a little bit better off in the technical acumen of what's going on instead of trying to do shoot fight, because it could end up bad for her as well. But here we are again, no indie experience. At least Ronda's got big fight UFC experience and obviously tons of training. Just because you're second generation, that don't mean shit, man, as far as how well you're going to do with this kind of stuff. And it's not like Piper was the most, technical worker, fucking thumb to the eyes, the fucking boom, the punches, maybe a hip toss.
Worker's the key word. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've gone back and watched him and Mr. Perfect or him and Brett, and it's just like, it's so damn good. So good. Like having to do, when they say I'm doing nothing, that's what it really means, as opposed to I'm going to go in and show how fucking tough I am. So, shout out to Teal Piper. I'm massive respect for her father and the family legacy. I just hope that she's getting the reps in, and that's fine. But unless you know how to work a house show, work in front of a crowd, you're never going to be a pro wrestler. Yeah, I will say it is a hard time to get started in wrestling right now, because the ability to learn, there's two ways to really truly get better. I mean, you can learn all the context of everything that we always talk about. The two ways to truly get better is working in front of people and working with people that are better than you in that ring. And so at least you have the ability to work with people that are better. Well, I can't say Ronda's necessarily better in the ring, but she has the ability to find people that are better than her to wrestle with. But unfortunately, the context of wrestling in front of an audience, there's no way to really learn how to do that right now.
And to get your timing down and feel the crowd and all that kind of stuff. So again, here's what it is. Ronda Rousey is not over in wrestling. She had to bite off of Piper's gimmick. That got her about that much farther. And now the fact of that they're going to put her together with Teal Piper, and
probably shotgun it, which it actually could be really good. But you would give Teal Piper, say, a little bit of a run first on her own before you do anything with Ronda. But my feeling is they're probably going to just bring them right in together and kill 6 months of story they could have told.
You have to have a big heel putting heat on Teal Piper. Ronda comes in as the buddy to fucking be the equalizer. Yeah. From there, they decide to go tag. Out of the gate, they get shocking wins, things along those lines, and build them up. Instead, what have we done? We've shown them together on social media. We've already shown that what's coming. It's going to be Piper and Rousey in the women's division over Strong on some group, and then they're going to push them. That is 12% tops of what you could fucking get value-wise compared to what we just described. And that's where they are, bro. They don't know how to build anybody. And those two girls have no idea how to build themselves. So just because you're wrestling training, that doesn't mean dick. Like that's a very small part of it, dude. Martin Evans, Twinkle Toes, my roommate, couldn't wrestle for shit either. Not like I'm some fucking, technical master, but he was one of the most over guys because of big overblown character working with guys who knew how to wrestle in the mobile homers. That's how you get guys over. Wrestling doesn't get anybody over. Hardly ever. It's all about the character and that kind of shit and the stakes and the story of what we're setting up. And the fact that you're showing on your Instagram, guess who I'm training with? There goes all of our story, because if Teal Piper was to start singles and Ronda comes in, well, we know Ronda's coming already for the save because of this stupid fucking Instagram post. Now the reality that we're trying to create in wrestling of someone's in trouble and we don't know who's coming for the save, That's blown out the ass because we had to get our vanity metrics and likes in. This right here, $2,000 in fines. They just don't get it, man. I just don't understand. Bailey admits our final story of the day. Our final fucking story.
Ding dong.
Okay. Bailey admits she used Sasha Banks and loved beating her up. On WWE SmackDown this week, Bailey addressed her decision to attack her former tag team partner, Sasha Banks, last week. After failing to regain the women's tag championships last week, Bailey snapped and attacked her best friend, brutally attacking her. This week, Bailey claimed she had been using Sasha throughout their time together, and she admitted she enjoyed beating her up last week.
Everybody is asking how Sasha Banks is. Is Sasha feeling any better? When is Sasha going to be back? But nobody is asking how Bailey's doing. Nobody's asking how I feel. Do you think I enjoyed doing that to my tag partner? Do you think it made me feel good to take this steel chair and destroy my best friend? Well, ding dong, hello. Yes, I did. I loved every single second of it.
First of all, don't tell me what to do.
Okay. Absolute brutality. This was supposed to be the follow-up promo after turning on her friend. And, dude, no juice. There's no heat here. No, I don't know why they can't. Oh, I don't
understand. She got all the words on the script right.
That's true. I just don't know.
She didn't miss any of the words or the line, so it should have worked.
It's strictly because Vince wants to bang her. That's why she's getting all this fucking time, bro. And I don't know if she is or isn't. I'm not saying what have you, but there's no way that I don't care who you are in WWE that you can go, she fucking nailed that. That came off just how it was in my head to create all the heat. And it was a beautiful scene, dude. Like, that's every week they come out the last 16, 20 weeks. Can it be any more mailed in? Can it be the exact same thing over and over again with blueprint and dose belts and these stupid little catchphrases that mean nothing to no one, as opposed to a show don't tell action? What it should have been is Sasha is the one who's hurt and can't believe she got jumped. And right in the first 30 seconds of her promo, she gets jumped and fucked over again. Heels need heat. Talking about an incident that you did is not heat. We need the show don't tell of shutting somebody down and fucking them over again and again to make us hate someone. So they can't even get it right in week 2, bro.
Yeah. It's boggles the mind. I think I've said that phrase a lot today.
We might need to play some Boggle here to switch things up, man.
I had one more little thing I wanted to bring up. It's not necessarily a news story, but I know we've talked on the Impact attack as we were big fans of the WrestleHouse and was like, who the hell is writing this? But I did see there is something that came out that said, I guess on the Impact writing team, they have a guy by the name of Robert Evans, or wrestled as RD Evans from he's a Canadian wrestler. I guess he was in, it looks like, Chikara, and wrestled in the Texas Independent Circuit and Ring of Honor. I'm not familiar with the guy, but apparently he was the brains behind that. So, I mean, kudos to him. I'd love to, I don't know if we could, because he's under contract with Impact, but I'd love to have a dialogue with him as far as, you know,
we've had Johnny Bravo on.
I'd love to reach out to him. Yeah.
Please do.
Absolutely.
Please, if you can get that book, I'd love to let them know how much that really raised the bar of wrestling in 2020 in a time of putrid, empty arena fucking attempts. You know what I mean? That was the best thing of 2020, hands down. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Bailey is just good. She sounds autistic in her promos. Well, let's run with it. Let's run with her having autism. I think that would save a lot of things, dude. Let her be that. You know, put her with Freight Train. I don't give a fuck at this point, dude. It's all $5 wrestling. Not the most exciting and sexy way to end the day, Beast, with triple women's news or what have you. If you really want to, you can go over to Liv Morgan's Twitter and see her taking pictures of herself sitting in front of a mirror with her box half out. So that'll maybe cheer you up for the rest of the fucking day. Well, we're going to be here all week long doing big things. A big announcement for Wednesday. We're trying to get close. Conspiracy Horseman may go an hour and a half earlier, so 5:45 start time. We're very close to having it done to close Richard Gage, the foremost expert on architects, engineers, 9/11. We're gonna, so big possibly get for Wednesday. I think we should have it done at the end of the day today. Do I got a link to that? Asking for a friend. Just go to at Liv Morgan on Twitter. She's sitting there. That's what she does all day. Let me sit in front of a closet, full length mirror, half sexually, scrubbed out, and I'll show you my spreader. That's the life of a 23-year-old wrestler, I guess, in today's society, bro. Instead of protecting this massive investment that they put into you, how can I give them payback and say, I know you've invested this and I can really turn this into millions of dollars more? Nope. Check out my minge. Good shit. We actually did get flagged on that. Says the Live Laugh with Lana had me dying. We got flagged on YouTube because of showing their stupid little side shows and along that stuff, and we'll continue to, because we're the resistance as things get crazier going into September. Definitely want you guys to keep your heads glued on straight. We had I still am kind of under attack with it a little bit at Dippin' Donuts Rome, New York on Facebook, Dippin' Donuts CNY on Instagram and Twitter if you want to add them. But on Facebook, they were under attack from a local bunch of douchebags who want to be BLM and ABAC, and that's just local central New York. Six people tried to troll seven. The comments and reviews section, and the response from Hamin Media Group and Russo Brand, Goldilocks helping us out. You guys going over there, leaving a 5-star review and kind words about Dippin' Donuts. All they are was trolls trying to sink some things. And if you look at each one of the person who left a bad review, that you can see the clique that they're in. I'm working with Dimitri to do the Chick-fil-A thing, kind of. Not that I'm down with Chick-fil-A's anti-LGBTQ stance, not anti, but borderline instead of taking a hard line with it. When that happened, people from the right were turning up the Chick-fil-A to buy $250 worth of chicken, so we've seen some of that kind of locally go, the pendulum swing back where kindness overshadows. And these are the people who want inclusivity, everybody to be accepted, but they're the most vitriolic, hate spewing cocksuckers of them all. And they want to act like they're the ones with that understand and get it. So we'll kill them with kindness. If you can go over to the Facebook for Dippin' Donuts, leave a 5-star review and say how much you appreciate what they do for the community, man. In the last week, holding rallies, giving donuts to the homeless, and to be handed out apple fritters, collaborations with Nicky Doodles to bring another business together so they can do their own Sunday. Tons and tons of giveaways with Broasters, coffee as well, just all partnering in good stuff and in good faith. I think we're going to target each one of those 6 or 7 if we can find out where they live. I know where 2 of them live already because I'm Ben Hamin. I think we're gonna send them some Dippin' Donuts, just like kill them with love, kill them with sugar, and fuck their little cunting off online. If you guys can go leave a 5-star review on the Facebook and whatnot, that's just gonna help us go over strong like we always do in the face of adversity. So appreciate you guys doing that stuff. I know there's a new kind of controversial thing up on Hamin Media Group, and I actually saw Peyton Royce tweet about this as well, that Netflix pedophile push that now the Obamas are in on Netflix and who knows whatever else. They're going to keep pushing this shit. This movie Cuties that is out there with these dance troupes with girls under the age of 10 twerking and being sexualized. I won't watch it, but I know Matt Schaffer said he would sacrifice himself to it. And the last 10 minutes of the big dance is just, I guess, beyond anything that even remotely be called tasteful or be able to slide through. Peyton Royce put out a tweet about it. I was kind of like, all right, Now, if you're going to do all this Sami Zayn shit and all this other stuff, but there's somebody who stood and towed the line on something that actually was like, all right, I'm going out as a solo artist and I'm going to say what I need to say. I'm going to say something not too controversial, but put it down. I got a little more respect for her today. And Matt Schaffer's got his review up at Hamin Media Group on YouTube and Hamin Media Group at
Netflix doesn't deserve the view, so just go and listen to his review so you can hear the details of exactly how it's laid out.
Yep. Yeah, we're not gonna let that shit slide around here and be pushed that way, man. Like, fuck that with these deep state agenda pushers where they think they can just get it through. And it was a Sundance Film Festival favorite. Well, guess what? Everybody involved with it should be brought up on charges criminally right now and fucking questioned and for child endangerment, and at least be given a mandatory 5-year sentence as far as I'm concerned.
No.
So we're keeping it real hot and happy today. I can tell you guys on the Monday Lock. The 5-star star search is over with. We're going through and reviewing all of that right now to get it down to our top 5. So hopefully voting will commence next week for that. So you guys in the Hamin Media discussion group, follow at Hamin Media Group on Twitter.
Oh, will you fucking stop?
Sorry. And then you guys can vote and see who's going to be the next affiliate. So I'm excited to add a new crew to our brand as well. And I know things are starting to click because Matt says he's having a little bit more traction with his South Park Suck My Balls podcast since we did the split. So I was a little worried about it, in the beginning of the summer, but I had a feeling the growth was going to be there, and we're starting to see that. So I appreciate everybody who's supporting both of our channels, Hamin Media Group and Hacker Hamin, our main channel that way. Appreciate all the betting tips this weekend. I did okay on Bovada. Got my stuff back up that way, and pitch for some new sponsors as well, man, Beast. So we're hitting on all cylinders this week.
And of course, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. We're hoping to get that up to par so we can get it monetized, which will then also allow us to be able to do a lot more, be able to bring in other guests and just do a lot more with it. And I'm going to go out on a limb. I was telling my wife while we were at the lake this last weekend, and she's not been keen on the idea. I've teased her for years that one of these days, because my dad always had really curly hair and he'd actually would get his hair permed. And I was like, how cool would it be if I got my hair permed? She goes, you will never get your hair permed. And she goes, unless you're making money, you cannot perm your hair. I said, okay, well then I'm going to go on the Monday Locker Room this week. And I'm going to say, if we get the YouTube channel monetized by the end of the year, I will get my hair permed. And then she can't say anything because then it's monetized. And hey, technically now we're making money. So, I mean, not that, it's a lot to start, but still it's something. So help share, help promote it. If we can get it monetized by the end of the year, I personally, and I'll even I'll film it and everything, I will get my hair permed.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. You guys better not fuck this up. Get over there at Hamin Media Group right now, YouTube, and get subscribing and sharing so we can.
It's so ridiculous.
I'm a man permed. Yeah, that's excellent. Maybe I'll get my beard permed as well.
There we go. Yeah, we can go to the salon together.
Adler says he's up E86. I don't know how much that is in real money on soccer bets this weekend. Athers, if you're my lock on soccer bets, if you got sure things where I'm not going to lose, where I have to come beat the shit out of you, hit me up on Messenger, because I wouldn't mind betting. I only bet sure things or points that I know I'm going to do well on. So always looking for those inside tips. You guys can get great inside fight tips from Javid and John Hartnett and Blake Troop on Cage Theory. Big shout out to Troop doing big things out there as well with California, Hollywood Wrestling, Dave Marquez, and, really just pushing himself in the fight game that way. So glad to have those guys. That's really been a really great pick'em challenge as well, with the UFC becoming a bigger part of Hamin Media Group and that kind of fight stuff. And also they were talking about football as well. I just don't have time to do all that at the same time for fantasy leagues, and we'll see how long football lasts. But I won a little bit on the Bills yesterday. I mean, that Jets are the easiest team to bet against, so it's always nice for free money.
And the Bears actually won a game.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't too pretty, though.
Well, a win's a win.
It's El Gigantes tonight on Monday Night Football up against Monday Night Raw. So we'll see how much damage it does in the numbers. We'll be back Tuesday. We'll be back Wednesday with the Impact Attack. Tuesday's Russo brand recording, so I'll be slammed with that. Tomorrow I'll probably do the Impact Watch Wizacha Lizong at twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman. Hopefully the acting gets stepped up a little bit with this guy that did the WrestleHouse. Hopefully they put him in charge of some of the backstage segments, because we saw a little bit of dip in the quality last week compared to what we had been used to with the pre-produced WrestleZone or WrestleHouse stuff. So excited about it. But yeah, Beast, any place else we got to go, send them to Zordos Olive Oil, thebrosters.com. Get all the artisanal products we got going up there. I appreciate the prowrestlingtees.com sales this weekend. A couple more shirts sold. Anything else busybody for you today, Beast?
Of course, besides making old ladies do squats, just producing and the bourbon podcast that'll come out very soon, but also never come out. I did decide what I am going to do. I know everyone's probably like rolling their eyes right now because I talk about it every week, but truly I want to make sure it's of the utmost quality. And honestly, I'm more doing a lot of work on the back end of the one that we shot. So I decided I am going to actually shoot a second one with the context in mind. Because again, my wife and I just literally sat down and went with it. And I would have rather done my due diligence and talk about some of the facts and cool bits of information about the bourbon as we're drinking along with it, rather than just being goofballs and just kind of just having a good time. It was a good time, but we also didn't provide a lot of context, and I feel a lot of value to the bourbon itself. We didn't do our due diligence to really pay homage and respect to the bourbon, and I want to make sure that we are doing that. So I think we're going to find another lineup. I think we might do a Knob Creek, because I got a few different variants of those, and actually talk about the history, talk about what it means, why Knob Creek bourbon is different than other bourbons and how it's unique, and what goes along with it, because that's really what I want to do. I want people to listen to us that either are new to it and just interested in learning about it, or people that have been around it and just want to hear more about the different nuances of the different variants they have. So I'm hopeful this week my wife and I will sit down and do it the right way. I will also release the Blanton's one that we did. Just it's not going to be quite to what I was wanting it to be, but good things come to those who wait. And I'm confident by the time the apocalypse comes, or by the time 2049 is here and Blade Runner is finally upon us, that we'll finally have it out. So stay tuned.
Awesome. I mean, you can do as many podcasts as you want and get them wrong, right? I was too drunk for that.
That's true. You know who I am. I'm very like nitpicky about wanting to be a perfectionist, and but I do feel I have a better idea now of how I want to present it, and I think once it does come out, people will enjoy it and see what I was going for.
What do you think's on this one? OVW, December 11th, 2008. It's got to be Insurgency versus. No, that might have been over by then. And maybe
perhaps an old Ryback.
Could be an old Ryback on there.
Yeah.
Could be. Yeah, probably versus Anthony Bravado. So We'll see. Might throw that in later for some watch alongs. You get them at Ted the Man Beast, right? On Twitter, you guys. Great things going down. I appreciate all your hard work, man, with the NXT review. You guys make sure you're checking out that Next Level podcast, so you want to learn how to book and do it the right way. There's no better way than learn from this guy.
This week's homework for those that want to participate. We're talking last week. We saw a potentially a blow-off cage match between Rhea Ripley and Mercedes Martinez. And the homework was simply either one or both of these women. I want to know what is next for them. How can we put them in a interesting story, and who are they going to work with next? So whether it's taking them to the main roster against someone, or keeping them in NXT against someone, it's booking Rhea Ripley or Mercedes Martinez. So if you've been thinking about some ideas for either of these ladies, or just have an idea for either of them, I'd love to hear it. It's Next Level Wrestling Review at gmail.com. Send in some homework and we'll talk about it on the air and break it down. But we'll be doing that this Thursday about 10 a.m.
I think Rhea Ripley versus Bailey might have some money written on it if you had Rhea as the babyface to shut her down. You know what I mean? And take it off of her and let her throw it. But awesome stuff. We appreciate the takeover on that show, obviously, and turning it into a more of a learning experience, looking at it as what it really is a developmental territory, and how do we grow our talents to get them ready for the main roster so then we can not use them properly.
And I know I'm not on the show, but we had Old Athers last week on the show to review it and get his input on some of it, and just broke it down with him. But he also let people know on the Smack Attack, they're running a contest. He has a signed a DVD by Walter had signed it, but it has a bunch of his matches against guys, I guess, on the independents like Chris Hero and Bryan Danielson, and a lot of stuff that you just can't find easily, online. So a lot of cool, unique matches, and it's a piece of merchandise memorabilia. I think all you have to do is download the podcast. You got to follow Hamin Media and Smack Attack, and then share the podcast. And those are 3 things you have to do, and you're entered for free in a random drawing to win that DVD. So if you're interested in that, it's pretty easy to win as far as it's free. So be sure to do that, and you might be a big winner.
I'm going to win it. I'm going to win it all. But appreciate MacGyver and others sharing that Smack Attack show. We know some of them are brutal to get through. I took notes as well. I had a good time in the SmackDown Live self-help group here at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman. Keep it locked, you guys, all week long. Great shows this week. Really looking forward to Richard Gage. That's going to be up there with McAfee on the level of guests if we can get him landed and get him on this week. I'm going to be doing some other stuff across the board. I'll let you guys know that. It's Switch Up September, so I think we may have a special guest for the Impact Attack if I can get that done as well. So don't miss it, you guys. Keep it locked here. Hacker Hamin on iTunes, Hamin Media Group on iTunes as well. Go over and follow that YouTube channel so we can get Dr. Perm in the house. That's what we're all really wanting now that we've got that to look forward to as well. So y'all infidels, it's Hacker Hamin. It's Dr. Ted. It's your Monday locker room here at Hamin Media Group. Y'all.